of is Parshas Korach. Rashi kicks off the Parsha. He says, Yafeh Nedrashes. Rashi, the king of Pshat, gives a shout out to Drush. He says the Drush in this week's Parsha is just so delicious. You're coming off the Parsha of Tcheles, and Korach shows up with begotten of Tcheles that his wife was badgering him about. We know that Korach, his whole fall was because his wife nudged him to, why are you shaving your head? Why are you second fiddle to Moshe Rabbeinu? And we have the other members of Korach's Sadah saying, the wife saved them. The Korach of the Isha's Chayil. But Rapam uses these words to explain something which is very common and not so understood. When a person gets engaged, Hashem, everyone comes over to me. At the Vort it says the zivuk should be Oleh Yafeh. You ever wonder what that means? What in the world is Oleh Yafeh? So when I got engaged, my brother walked in. He said, "The zivuk should be Oleh Yafeh." And I said, "Thank you. What in the world does that mean?" And he said, "I actually have no idea." And he got back to me and he brought down from the Satmar Rebbe that Yafeh is going in the Parsha of V'yatzav v'nachman v'kaim v'yosher v'nema v'hov v'chov v'nachman v'noim v'noim v'adam v'sukim v'toim v'yafeh. The zivuk should be all of those, all the way up to Yafeh. Yishmak. Yafeh is also, K'masher Yafeh is the mitzvah number of V'asuli mikdash v'shechanti v'soicha. And we're wishing the Chassan Nekalim they should build a home that the Shechina Sheirah. Your Palm says a whole new part. Ready for this? Yafeh Nedrashes. Yafeh Nedrashes, says Rashi. The word Isha, Pshat, means a woman, means a wife, means marriage. Oh Hashem. What does the word Isha mean? B'derech Drush? The Torah is referred to it as an Isha. Someone who's loyal to the Torah will be loyal to him. It's referred to it for Lashon Nekeva. The Torah is referred to as Lashon Nekeva. There's a famous story about the Yid who passed away and no one knew that he died, but there was a woman bawling outside his room. And that she tipped everyone off to know that he had passed on. No one else knew. He was all alone. Turns out that this year had learned, I think it was Mesechus Chagiga, I heard once Megillah. He learned one Mesechta his entire life, just one Mesechta, and that he owned it. That was his kinyan. He was Yivamas. He said, pick a Mesechta, become that Mesechta. So this year, that's his Chagiga, and this woman was crying, and they came, they found him, and they gave him a proper burial with she walked along the entire Vayas HaMeis, crying over the loss of this Yid. And they asked her afterwards, what's your name, what's your deal? She said, my name is Chagiga. And shortly after she walked off and disappeared. So Torah is referred to as an Isha, Zakir Pam. Isha, the Lashon Isha refers to a wife and also refers to Torah. And Yafeh Nedrashes, when the two come together, when a person gets married, and he brings the Torah with him into the home, that's Yafeh. The zivuk should be Oleh Yafeh. The Yafeh of this Rashi, in this week's Parsha, that the zivuk, his wife, the Isha, Be'ezer Hashem the Kala, the Isha should be Torah and marriage put together into a beautiful, harmonious combination. What's the key to a good marriage? Everyone knows you have to be mavater. Be mavater. If two people are giving in to each other, 100% here, 100% here, you end the line, you have 200%, it's going to be beautiful. Ma'aseh Shaya, there's a Yid, a Chashuv, a Rav, he's a big speaker in Yisrael, Rav David, and he had a Ma'aseh. Whenever he spoke, he always spoke about you have to be mavater. Anyone who's mavater will not lose out. That was his Hu Haya Omer. And he was once in his building, and the elevator broke. It got jammed, and there was a woman inside, an elderly woman, and she was crying. She was calling out, someone, help me. So he said, so David heard him. He called down. He said, did you push the button? Did he call? I said, yeah, I called. They said they're going to be here within an hour. So he said, beautiful. Okay, Beseder, Baruch Hashem, you're okay, everything's... And she said, no, please call the fire department. I said, the fire department? They're on their way, don't worry, they're going to get you out. I said, no, I need the fire department, please. I have claustrophobia. She started the whole tirade. And he said, are you sure? Really, it's going to be okay. They're going to be here, it's going to be fine. Tried calming her down, but she said, no, I beg of you, please call the fire department. She was an elderly woman. She said, Beseder. Calls the fire department, they show up, and they fix the elevator situation, they let her out. In Eretz Yisrael, if you call the fire department for maybe it's a non-fire, so there's a bill at the end for having them schlep out. 660 shekel. So the firemen came over to him afterwards and said, you called, so 660 shekel, please. And he says, oh no, this woman asked me to call. So they went over to her, and she said, oh, no, absolutely not. The rule is that whoever calls pays. He said, I only called because you told me to. You were begging me to. I said it's not a good idea, and you said I should call anyways. You called, you pay. I know anyone who's mevater doesn't lose out. And she said, you're not being mevater, you're chayiv. And he was like, this is out of control. Beseder. He's like, you know what? Be mevater. I won't tell her I'm being mevater. I'll tell her I'm chayiv. It's not worth it. Taki pays off 660 shekel. Fire department leaves. The story's over. He figures it's over. He walks around the corner to the bus where he's heading out. He just wasted the last 2 hours. He spent the last 2 hours calling the fire department, trying to get a woman out of a stuck elevator shaft, and then paying the bill for her. He buys a Diet Coke for 8 shekel. He's standing there. You don't lose out. A yid comes over to him. He says, Rebbe, I found an envelope with money in it. What do I do? He said, I'm going to ask around. He said, I'm asking around. Nothing. He says, no simon, you can keep it. He's like, I don't want to keep that. It doesn't feel right. So, okay, give it to tzedakah. And he's like, okay, Harav, you're in charge of lots of tzedakahs. Maybe I trust you with the money. Here, you give it to tzedakah. He's like, well, what do you want to give it to? He's like, whatever. I trust the Rav. He's like, maybe you want to sponsor getting, an old woman who's trapped in an elevator out. Just, yeah, that sounds great. Perfect. Opens up the envelope. Exactly 660 shekel in that envelope. He tells the yid what just happened. And he said, yeah, that's amazing. That's crazy. What just happened? Oh my gosh, Hashem paid you back penny for penny. Penny by penny. He said, yeah, but actually he still owes me 8 shekel for the Diet Coke. The kids are, he was staying in a hotel that night. He walked in, he opened the drawer. There's 8 shekel in the top drawer. Someone left their change behind. You know this from being mevater? Penny by penny, the Baruch Hashem is going to pay us back for everything that we do, for every good midah. Be'ez Hashem, we should all be zayichet to lift ourselves up, be mevater, give to each other. And we should be zayichet to have only the most shalom digga marriages in Klal Yisrael. All the zivugim should be Oleh Yafeh. Everyone should find their zivug, the right one, easily, quickly, the right one at the right time. And we should all see Shalom, Shalva, Menucha, and Mashiach to kingdom heavy menu. Amen. Yehi Shalom, Shalva, Me'amina Yisrael. Yehi Shalom. Good job.